Hey guys, it's John from Album Review TV coming to you on location today. This is really the only chance I was going to get to film today, so I wanted to make sure I got this Lacuna Coil Broken Crown Halo review done for you guys. A lot of you actually requested this one. I did review their album Dark Adrenaline back in 2012. If you'd like to see my review of that, the link is in the description down below. You can click that, as well as the links to my vlog channel, which I post a video on every Sunday, in addition to my Twitter and my Facebook. Make sure you guys give this review a like and spread the word about the channel on Album Review TV if you could. I always appreciate it when you guys share out the links to the reviews that you enjoy, save it to your favorites, stuff like that, and help the channel continue growing. Thank you to over 6,000 of you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into today's review. Lacuna Coil finds themselves sticking to their guns here on Broken Crown Halo in a sense, but also trying a few new tricks, which I thought was pretty cool. The group actually drew a whole lot of inspiration for this record, Broken Crown Halo, from Italian horror films and the soundtracks that go along with them, and they wanted this record to be very cinematic in nature, and I think they really succeeded in doing so on a lot of these tracks, but at the same time many of them fall into kind of the mediocre and lackluster territory as they kind of try to push us into this realm of grandiose, over-the-top musical visions, and at times I think their visions just kind of fall a little bit flat. Musically, the creativity is definitely lacking. That can be heard on tracks like Victims, Zombies, and even I Burn in You. This album marks the final appearance of their longtime guitarist, as well as their longtime drummer, who actually officially retired from the band on Valentine's Day of this year. The lead single was called Nothing Stands in Our Way, and it's definitely the best song on the album if we're being honest here. It's a massive wrecking ball with brutal guitars and these dark vocals from the lead singers, Christina and Andy. It really shows that the band is taking that cinematic approach that they were talking about, but also doing it in a way that feels very familiar, very Lacuna Coil style. I actually do think it feels like it belongs on a movie soundtrack, maybe to like Underworld or a dark movie like that. That seems like what would suit them best. It combines their usual style into a big ball of hard-hitting gothic rock that would make even Amy Lee smile. When I think of dark rock, I tend to think of Lacuna Coil. Not much has changed from their inception to present day with their music, albeit lineup changes, slight musical tweaks here and there. Although Cybersleep is a track that's a prime example of new influences infiltrating their music, with some distant synthesizers and an almost ambient feel to it throughout this pounding romp of a track. It's just got this James Bond type vibe going on that I cannot resist. I think it's one that hits home more than the majority of the tracks on this record. A complaint I do have about this record, though, possibly petty, some of you guys might think so, but it's the fact that Andy, one of their lead vocalists, actually seems to have a much bigger vocal role on this album. He had kind of stepped back the past few records, I felt like, and had been in a good spot. It had been a spot where Christina took the spotlight. He did some of the screams, some of the yells, some of the backing vocals, and he led from time to time. But this time around on Broken Crown Halo, he seems to have taken more of a spotlight role, and I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I think his vocals are a little bit too rough for many of these tracks. They don't exactly fit with the music that Lacuna Coil is making. I think that stands out on some of the tracks. I think his screams are pretty on point throughout, though. Zombies and Infection, for example, are two tracks that I really think his vocals work on, but at times it's just a little bit too much for me, and I would have liked to have seen Christina on those lead vocal roles instead. Take, for example, Hostage to the Light. That really highlights Christina's vocals and kind of puts them into the spotlight. And I think it's one of her most powerful and standout performances on the entire record. I think that she really kind of jumps out of the music a little bit more than he does, adds a little bit more life, finds things being a little bit more compelling, and that's what I like to see. And I don't necessarily think that Andy is a bad vocalist by any means. I think it's just the fact that Christina's voice seems to fit with this gothic metal style that they've always had a whole lot more. Lyrically, this album definitely does struggle at some points. Take the song In the End I Feel Alive for a prime example, but it's almost to be expected at this point in the band's career. They're running out of epic things to write about. And let's be honest, the band likes to go big or go home in the lyrical department, trying to take the listener on this epic journey, but at times it just feels like they're not exactly doing that. They kind of get lost in the moment and get caught up in kind of writing the same things over again. I would have loved to have seen Christina handle the vocals on the chorus of the song Victims rather than Andy. His performance, while I'm sure enjoyed by many of the fans, could have at least used some backing vocals to help carry it, in my opinion. It's honestly one of the low points of the record for me, but the lowest point, Die and Rise. Especially the verses on this track. It's a party track about a blonde-haired girl from Andy's point of view. Yeah, it's not exactly a pretty portrait. I don't think there's anything special going on here musically either. Bland drumming, a few solid riffs here and there, but a mostly forgettable mess of a track. Lacuna Coil's new record, Broken Crown Halo, definitely has its highs and lows. It isn't anything amazing or incredibly creative, but it does have its moments of sunlight that kind of shine through and show that the band could evolve into something even cooler in the future if they would just implement some new sounds into their music. For me, this is a 3 out of 5. Let me know what you thought about the new record, Broken Crown Halo, in the comment section down below. Let me know what I should review next. I'm planning on possibly doing Manchester Orchestra, Chevelle, Punk Goes 90s Volume 2. Let me know which ones out of those you want to see the most. And of course, like I said, hit the like button on this review to let me know you like it, share it with a friend, and I will see you very soon right here on Album Review TV, Beyond the Reviews.